Hello everyone, Mr. MCA here, and this video serves as the introduction to my Gran Turismo 7 license test videos. And in these series of videos, we'll go over all the license tests, and this is for both the normal and master series, and I will explain how and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing to get the gold times in each and every single license test. And before I get started on the license test, starting with the normal National B license, I do want to touch on a couple things. For starters, I'll be using the DualSense controller. So this is the controller that comes with the PlayStation 5, and in a moment you'll see all the settings that I'm running for my controller. So on the main screen, click on the GT button on the top left hand corner of the screen, click on Options, Controllers, and for the vibration settings, I have the vibration function and the haptic feedback, also known as trigger effect, for the brakes and acceleration turned off on my controller. I know it's a little weird, but for me, I feel a little more comfortable playing this way whenever I'm on the controller. And here are my controller inputs. Do note that I have the L2 and R2 buttons for brake acceleration respectively, and I have the left stick for steering. Now before you enter any racing session, you can click on settings, go on over to assist settings, and here are my settings. So I have the manual transmission so I can have more control of the car. Traction control will be at 0 for most of the license tests, and I'll point out when I turn it on. ABS, I will have it set to default. For driving lane assistance, I'll be using the driving markers. So these are the little yellow pens that you'll see when you're approaching turn in, apex, and turn out points. And moving along with that, I have the driving lane turned off, brake indicator, braking area, replace car, ASM, and counter steering assistance are all turned off. Although counter steering assistance might come in useful if you're having a hard time with license tests that involve rainy or wet surfaces. And I'll let you know if I have this setting turned on in any of the wet license tests. And I do want to point out the multi-function display on the bottom right hand corner of your screen, because if you press the left or the right enough times, you'll eventually come across the TCS, also known as the traction control display. So here you can change how strong or lenient you want your traction control to be. So the higher the number, the stronger the traction control is. The lower the number, the weaker it is, and if you leave it at 0, it turns off the traction control. And this system basically cuts off some of the engine power when the system starts to detect some of the wheel spins. So it tries to keep your car under control. It tries to keep the car from getting too much wheel spin and end up having you spin out. But in Gran Turismo 7, normally it's faster to drive with it off, but there are cases where it is possible to get away with it on, at least have it at TCS 1. And some cases can be if you're driving with a really difficult car like the X2019, or if you're driving under wet or rainy conditions. And finally, before you start any racing session, you can click on settings, controller settings, and here you can see my controller steering sensitivity. I have it maxed out at 10. That way I can try to get more steering input out of the controller, because well, even at 10, the steering input is pretty slow, but this is the highest it can go, so I'll leave it at 10. And for those on the wheel, I have my force feedback max torque at 5, force feedback sensitivity at 10. And if you're on the Fanatec CSL Elite, I'll leave my settings in the description down below. But again, this is for those on the wheel, because I'm going to be doing the license test on the controller. And I'll leave a link in the description down below for each and every single license test guide that I do, whether it's on normal mode or on master mode. So I'll add them once those videos are made. And I'll also upload each and every single replay of the license tests that I do, and it'll be on my Gran Turismo profile, so you'll be able to access them in game. The best way to do it is by using any of these 3 tags, and you want to go on over to Showcase. Then you want to click on Content Search, filter the content type to replay, and you'll find better results if you use missed MCA and MCA time. So we're going to use MCA time for this one, as this will filter it out a little bit better. And on event type, click on license and then go ahead and search, and you'll see all the replays I have up so far. And I'll upload more of these as I get the license test done. So if you need the replay, they'll be there waiting for you. You can click on view to watch the replay, and don't forget to click on the little paper clip to add them to your collection. But that's going to be it for this video, this introduction video. I'll see you in the next video where we'll finally start to go through the normal National B license test guide. But this is Mr. MCA, the world's most okay player, and I'll see you in the next video.